Hey, and we are live.
Hello.
It's been a while.
It's been
We're going to try to do this every Tuesday night. We got a lot of stuff going on, and we're just going to try to get to you. And tonight we're going to talk about, are you afraid of success?
I thought this was the craziest thing. Like, what do you mean afraid of success? Who's afraid of success? And then I thought about it, and I'm like, yeah, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
So this was our topic that we talked about at tonight's mentor call for the Advanced Action Program.
Yeah.
And we had some really good conversation about it. So you want me to dive in?
Yeah, why don't you go out there? I'm going to take the lead today.
Well, okay, thanks. So the fear of success, which sounds crazy, maybe isn't as crazy as you think it is. And I think we'll walk through a couple of distinctions about how these, basically the fears can stop you from doing what you really want to do in life and pursue your dreams. So the first is just to note that the fear of success is a common obstacle to consistent and lasting success. There's something in there. There's something in that brain of yours. It's like going, nah, I don't know how to do this. I'm not confident. What if I fail? So for those reasons, that's part of what kind of gets in the fear of success. So it has more than one cause. So the first is fear of change. And since we've been doing a lot of work around change management, we've learned quite a bit about how people, like our bodies or our brains are just sort of wired that like we don't like change. Like
go ahead. Your brain is concerned more about what might happen if your situation changes. You're better to be alive and miserable than the possibility of being happy and successful. And your brain's wired that way.
Didn't you say yeah. So the brain is like doing its thing in terms of like calculating risk, right? So
it doesn't want you to take a risk.
It doesn't want you to take a risk because it doesn't want that level of discomfort, even if there's something on the other side that's better. So that's a big stop right there.
So the second, what?
Hi.
The second thing is a fear. We have one of our roommates came in. Otherwise known as our children. Anyway. All good. Fear of greater responsibility. Now, the more successful you become in anything, the more responsibility you're going to have. If you're building a real estate empire, you have to worry about tenants and rent collection and taxes due and maintenance on the
right. So when you go to that next level, you have more responsibility in terms of like money that you may owe, people who work for you, and that can be you can get caught up in the fear of that, right? You can be like, what if I screw this up? I've got people who like depend on me and put money into this.
Moving forward. Mm-hmm.
Well, and it's also, we were talking about like sometimes with getting a promotion just in your, in the company that you're working for, the responsibility of learning a new position, the responsibility of having people work underneath you, that's a responsibility, and it's a very real responsibility. And the fear of that can play into why we play small. So that can be part of the fear of success. Another is fear of standing out. Some people love attention, and I think you know two people who do. But a lot of people don't. Many people don't. And people notice when you're successful and maybe throw a little shade at you. You start getting a few haters, people who are like, oh, look at you, big stuff, you're doing this now, you should be able to do this, this, and this, and this. And it's just like, I don't know if I want to deal with that, right? That can change some of the relationships that I have.
A real common thing that happens in the workplace. Like you're working with a group of 10 or 12 people, and they're your peers at work, and then all of a sudden you get a promotion, then your peers are like, ooh, he's the boss now. He's the big shot.
I have to tell my friends what to do and hold them accountable.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that can be part of what fits into this. And it may seem really minor, but if you're looking at it, if you're not really distinguishing it or taking the time to distinguish it, it can seem really big. And then almost to a point where you don't even realize it's happening. And then, there are people who just want to blend into the background and would just rather things just go steady. But then later, you're like, why am I not? Anyway, so those fears, the fear of success, it can show several symptoms. So we'll walk through some of those. Did you want to start with the first one?
Self-sabotage. Yeah, so you shoot yourself in the foot. You're doing great, going all along, and all of a sudden you're like, just before you get to the end,
you quit.
Or
things, or you do something that kind of like knocks everything over.
Yeah.
Right? Like, oh, see, it didn't work. I told you. I knew it wasn't going to work.
It's not going to happen. Not going to happen.
Yeah,
you know where that happens a lot.
People, where does it happen?
Or it can happen.
We see that. You always see this in somebody else. It's very hard to see it in yourself.
Yeah, exactly. But somebody could be like buying a new home or buying a car, but they want a lot of paperwork. You're somebody in our family was really, really good at this. Like it takes, you do a great job. You get approved to be whatever it is, to get a job or to a school project or something big, and you do all the work, but then you have to gather up the paperwork to make it all legit.
Just finish the project.
And it's like 10% of the deal, and you don't gather the paperwork and you don't send it in on time. You miss the deadline, and then you end up like.
I was talking to somebody yesterday who was saying that their son has a tendency to, like, he does his homework, but then he doesn't turn it in.
Yeah.
And then you're like, like that's how you get the grade, or that's how you get your grade better. And yeah. So I definitely know adults who do that too, or like, no, there's something missing, or, oh, I missed the time, and oh, it's too late.
No, the other thing, so the second thing that happens with some of these symptoms is you're changing the goal.
Yeah, tell me a little bit about that.
So let's just say you want to run a 5K and you haven't run yet. The couch to 5K is a common thing, but a lot of times when those 5K races are happening, you also have like a 3.5K or something like that. So you do all the work, and then at the very last minute, I'm just going to run the 3.5K versus the 5K.
So when you change the goals, you're actually making them smaller.
You're making them smaller.
So it's easier for you.
So your success is not as great.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, hey, I ran the 3K, but I was really like in my mind beforehand trying to run the 3K. That's really interesting.
Same thing with working out. Like when you're working out,
I'm going to run 5 miles. No.
Well, if you're training with weights, the weights provide the best results on those last couple reps, the ones that really hurt.
The ones that you're most likely to go, I'm good.
If you're not working with a personal trainer, a lot of times you'll back out of that. And those last couple percentage points give you so much of the gain of what you're looking for in stronger muscles or bigger muscles. And people give up on that.
Sure. That's why we use a trainer. But procrastination is definitely another one that people do. I mean, it's
that's the third
what you were saying, that if you procrastinate, it's because you don't know how to, like, you're lacking the knowledge to do.
Yeah, you're not procrastinating. You're
not procrastinating.
I know. Actually, I tend to procrastinate. We don't procrastinate on Friday night when we're going to Savona to grab us.
I know exactly what I need to do. I need to take a shower, look pretty, put on some nice clothes, and then I go down to the bar. Yeah. It's great.
No procrastination there.
You're absolutely right. But yeah, when it comes to, like, sometimes sitting down and doing something that I'm not proficient at, or lack
the motivation. You don't have the motivation to do it because you lack the knowledge. Yeah. And knowledge is a thing that
it's easier to, like, I'll check my email first.
And that comes big on goals in general. If you're name your biggest goal and it's probably not big enough, then the reason you don't have that right now is you don't have the knowledge, or you haven't done the work to get there yet. And there's a path, and your goal might be very huge for you and it might be tiny for somebody else, and vice versa. Something you take for granted that you've accomplished, it might be their other person's goal. It might be that other.
Yeah, so true. So
right? I wanted to own my own business since I was a little kid. So owning my own business owning my own business was a big deal. I've owned several businesses now, and I've been self-employed for many, many years. But that first business, man, I wanted, no matter what, I was going to have it. I see other people, like, they want their own business, and I just go, like, dude, just do it. And, like, if you don't help, I'll help you. I'll get you started.
There's definitely, though, there are things, and if you've gotten comfortable in a corporate job, and then you realize, again, that goes back to the change, the fear of change, because it's not a comfortable change, usually.
No.
Or it can be uncomfortable.
So
it can be uncomfortable. But anyway,
the good news is.
So there are some techniques that you can try if you notice that you have a fear of success. There are some things that you can do around this. And the first one is to determine the cause. So to actually really put some thought into, like, okay, wait a minute. Why am I not going?
So give me let's come up with an example of that.
Okay.
Like you're fearful of
Failure. Usually.
You're fearful of failure. But I mean, that's one of the big things. You're fearful of failure. You're fearful of, I want to buy, here's a good one. You want to buy, we always drive cars, and I have done this all my life. I drive cars that normal people don't drive, or people wish they drove those cars. A lot of times convertibles and sports cars and stuff like that.
They're a little weird.
No, I like nice cars, and I
like my weird car.
But anyway, and anybody can drive these cars. Anybody can own these cars.
There's nothing super special.
There's nothing super special about it. But I have convertibles, and people are like, oh, they're so expensive. No, they're not really. They're about the same price. What are you really fearful of? Oh, you have a convertible, or you have the nice car. You know what? One of the things you're fearful of is your friend giving you shit for driving that car. You know what? I'll take the shit. Yeah. That's me coming up in that nice car, Mr. Moneybucks, whatever. Yeah, say whatever you want.
Yeah, but the point is to think about it. So what is it that's keeping me from buying this car? Or what is it that's keeping me from going for this job? Is it am I worried about what people are going to say about me? Am I worried about
I know the
responsibilities? But the point is to actually determine the cause. So the more that you distinguish what is it, okay, can I live with it if it actually does go all to shit, or can I what do I need to overcome to move forward on this?
Yeah, so you got to determine the cause and what's causing your fear of failure there. That whole job thing. Maybe it's moving to another city. Maybe it's leaving your family. Maybe it's you like your coworkers and you got to move on.
Yeah, maybe it's that you're not going to work with people that maybe you're going to start doing work that you don't know how to do. So you have to learn on the job, and
you start to learn
you have to lead people, and you're not proficient at it, and right. So that's uncomfortable, but that's where growth comes from.
You also got to figure out how fear changes. So another thing is a symptom is how fear changes your thoughts and behaviors. But you be able to recognize that.
Right. So taking it, as we talked about, determining the cause of what's holding you back, but also really taking a really hard look at what's changing what is the fear doing to change your behavior? And if you notice your behavior being different at that time, that's a way that you can start to understand it and overcome it.
In someone's way for success, you might be chasing a success in your life that's not your success. It might be somebody else's
That's
idea.
A really good point.
Somebody else's idea. I mean, my family was big on, go to school, get a job, buy your first home, do all this stuff. I played that game till I was 30, and I was not happy.
It wasn't your goal.
It was not my goal. And my family, and when my family saw I was in a really bad place when I turned 30.
Chuck those goals.
And my family's sort of like, why are you what's going on here? And I realized that I was living what they wanted me to live, and I wasn't living what I wanted to live. I was doing what everybody else wanted to do.
I definitely had a similar moment in my career, maybe several, where I realized that the goal that I was chasing was what I thought everybody told me I should do instead of following this. And wow, what a difference. So face rather than avoid your fears.
Right.
Okay, self. What is it that I'm so afraid of? Is it that bad? What would be the consequences if everything goes to shit?
What are you afraid of?
I don't know. Failing? But
why?
Because I don't like it. It looks bad on me. Failure.
But what does looking bad on you look like?
I don't know.
See, I see just the opposite.
But I can also say but I tried it and I went for it. I think my biggest fear now is what if I don't give it enough of my I don't give enough of my effort.
So that's a really good one.
That's actually
because you actually can do that.
So I'm just I'm not working hard enough on this. I'm going to make this a massive success.
What if there's more effort? What if you perceive there's more effort than it needs? Then you're going to turn around and go to the first one and be self-sabotaging.
I just do this in the first place.
You be self-sabotaging.
Because I'm procrastinating. See, we've got this all figured out now.
I've been working on. We're launching a new website for everything, and I've been working on that. And I really thought I had a really long way to go on this thing, and then this afternoon, it came together really fast. In 2 hours, I was able to put the finishing touches enough to launch the site, and I'll announce the site in a couple of days. But just make sure everything's working. But it was just I felt like I really felt like this is never going to be done. But maybe we should just do it.
Yeah, I was at 90%.
I really felt like
this is hard. Yeah, no, I got it. I mean, totally. And I love that you use that as an example because it's like this is the big thing we're working on, and it's going to be like, you know, the central hub of like every product and service that we're offering in terms of how to help people. And but yeah, in that moment where we're working on the weekends and we're working on the every day until 8 o'clock at night, and then like bleh.
It's not 8 o'clock yet, but we're almost there.
We're okay.
We're getting right off this.
Yeah, as soon as we're off of this,
we were on a call. We were on 2 calls before this. Ashley was on 2 calls. I was working on the website. Then we're here live with you guys, and then we're
tip. Schedule calls the day you do your makeup and your hair. That way you look good.
See some of our people here that are in offices and they do their makeup and hair every day.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I should do it every day. It should be part of my like daily.
You always look great, so
you're so sweet.
So anyway, all right, we gotta roll. We get another call. Get on.
Thanks for joining us. So I hope this was helpful for you and that you got something out of it. If you did, pop it in the chat.